that she wants to be with him no matter what, ride or die. She's going to break me out of prison. Why would it not? We have asked this on Access Vegas several times, and I think the question we need to be asking is this, is especially for the ladies on the panel here, is if you met the right guy and you have OnlyFans or you have an Instagram account, would you take it upon yourself? Would you have the insight to say, you know what? I don't want this guy to think that I'm actually advertising my sexuality to anyone else. I'm going to take that down on my own without having to be asked. Would you do that?
Absolutely.
If it was if he was a ride or die girl,
of course,
or you were the ride or die girl,
I would give him my passwords. I would delete everything.
No passwords,
and everything.
Kill everything off.
Because I would want that security. I want to have that security with my partner. Mm-hmm. But
would what would you sacrifice, and would it occur to you to want to delete your OnlyFans, delete your Instagram, delete any of it, because you don't want to advertise yourself and you don't want there to be any confusion with that guy?
Of course, and I need that you need to be direct. You need to tell me face to face, sit down with me.
You do it yourself. You have that much desire to say, you know what, you say, he doesn't need to ask me. I don't need to know what the boundaries are. I already know what they are, and I'm going to do it myself.
There's a process before that. There's a process before. How are you going to find that guy?
One thing I would say is this about it, is that I would argue that might not be in some girls' consciousness at 18. So, although I agree with Rolo, him telling you directly and you being able to do it with no problem and knowing that's exactly what you want to do because you're so in love with him, you have that true genuine desire, would be acceptable in my opinion. I think you would agree with that. Right?
Yeah, I would agree with that. But see, the problem is you get into this quandary, I guess, because usually what they say is, if the guy asked you to delete your account, would you do it?
Then it's insecure.
Then what they'll say is, well, if he was the right guy, he wouldn't be asking me. No, what I'm asking is, if he's the ideal guy, would it be a concept in your head, an insight to say, I better cut this shit out?
Yes. Go.
I don't want this to be taken the wrong way, but I'm going to say no due to the fact that, for example, OnlyFans. I don't have it. She does, right?
You have Instagram?
But
you have an Instagram.
I do have an Instagram, but I'm just saying for example, OnlyFans, because she is making an income out of it. Mm-hmm. If she's talking to someone and she all of a sudden just stops doing OnlyFans, she has no income, and then that dude just ends up not being that person. She can have a feeling like, oh, this person.
Yeah, but that dude is like Justin Waller. He's taking care of everything for you.
Okay, you want to come in? Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like, even when I'm talking to somebody, because I have a boyfriend now, and I've been talking to him. We got together recently. So it was important to me to make sure that I was talking to only him, even when we were just in the talking phase. So I think this whole idea, like, oh, there's people on the sides, and even just giving up, like, your socials and stuff, I'd do it in a heartbeat, because immediately I cut off every guy when I'm just talking to this man. He had my phone passwords. I said, here, go through my Snapchat. Like, it's all yours, because it's important to show that you're committed before you even start the relationship. That's how he knows.
That's really good observation, because the follow-up to this is you were talking about double standards just a minute ago, okay? So when a man and a woman get together in some kind of relationship, men, when they are trying to get with a girl, they're the ones who have to sell themselves because of performance. We have to be the ones who can qualify. We have to look good. We have to have a good job. We have to be funny. You think about all the criteria that men have to actually get in a woman's pants, much less have a relationship with that woman. Men have to sell themselves on performance. Women, on the other hand, advertise themselves on the sexual marketplace. So whether that's Instagram or that's OnlyFans or however you're doing it, women are the advertisers. Men are the ones who are the salesmen. We're the pitchmen. We're trying to get you to accept us as an intimate, okay? So, and then some of us have a much easier time of this. Other guys have to actually work their asses off to do that, right? So
for the record, I work my ass off.
Yeah, you do work your ass off.
He's trying to say you're too good.
So when you get into a relationship, if it's closed on her end and closed on your end, what that means is that guy can no longer sell himself on the sexual marketplace. He can't pitch himself because he would be a cheater, right? If he's trying to go get with a waitress and you're in a relationship and he's flirting with her and trying to promote himself to get to sell his sexuality to that person, we call that cheating. But yet when women still advertise themselves on OnlyFans, on Instagram, we don't have a problem with that. Or women say it's my only source of income or whatever. And that's the hard part of this, is we've attached that advertising to women's revenue streams right now. But it's okay for men, or for us to call men who would advertise themselves in a relationship, or pitch themselves in a relationship, we call them cheaters. But we don't say the same thing for women who are advertising themselves. And that's why I was saying advertise themselves once they are in that relationship. If it is closed on his end and closed on her end, it should occur to you to say, I'm going to take I'm going to stop advertising my sexy ass. I'm not saying, delete your Instagram, but take down the thong pictures, take down the sexualized pictures, so that there is there's no confusion. Do you guys know what a soft launch is? Somebody knows what a soft launch is. Soft launch is when women have a new boyfriend and they don't show the boyfriend immediately. They'll show like hands together, or they'll show like the feet on the beach or some shit like that, because women know that they will lose market share on their advertising if they show a guy, and suddenly that promise, that fantasy of availability goes away. The reason why women get upset about that is because they're still advertising from within a relationship where the guy has stopped, but the woman has not stopped advertising.
Okay, two things.
Mm-hmm.
What you just said, the last part, advertising in two different ways. In terms of advertising on OnlyFans, yes, 100%. If I was dating a guy, I don't know if I would advertise it because that would affect my business. But not every woman, most women are not on OnlyFans. Are you saying that like they wouldn't show hands because they still want to monkey branch and for men to pursue them?
Nothing to do with monkey branch. What it has to do is the perception of your availability is limited. It is curtailed by having the boyfriend in the shots and the photos with you. For example, there was a series of photos of, and I don't know the name, sorry, but the professional soccer players with their wives and their girlfriends. And you look at their Instagram, they're on the same beach and the same vacation.
No nudes.
No nudes, no nothing.
No
And you go and you
nudes
look
at all.
at their girlfriends or their wives' Instagram, and same beach, just the girl that's all alone sitting in the surf and looking sexy. If you look at what is it, Ayesha Curry and Stephen Curry, like she still wants to, even after she's with Stephen Curry for fuck's sake.
She's with
Stephen
He
Curry.
signed a deal for $500
Yeah,
million.
and she's on Red Table Talk wanting to still say, hey, I want to be on Instagram. I still want to advertise myself. I still want to be I still want other men to find me sexy. That's what I mean by advertising. It's not necessarily like the OnlyFans thing. Yeah, you're advertising yourself sexually when you do that, but it's not just that, and it's not just like the soft launch. It is the fact that you are still there advertising while you would have a conniption fit if the guy was out there flirting with the waitress, because he's following his sexual imperatives while he has to curtail his and you're not.
I think I have something good to say with this.
If that's not a double standard, I don't know what is.
Not that like anything. I mean, it's fine if you want to do OnlyFans or whatever, and that's how you want to make your money. That is fine. But then if you do have that, you cannot come then and say, I want to find my perfect man. I've never had OnlyFans. I've never started OnlyFans. I never will have an OnlyFans because one of my goals in life that I knew that I was going to want to have, whether that be like now, which it has happened for me now. I got lucky, like it happened for me. And I don't have an OnlyFans, so that's proof that it can happen and that it happened because of that, right? That I have like the perfect man that like I think that I would want to have is sitting right next to me. So that is proof for that. But I always knew that I would want that one day, right? Like I would want to be married to the perfect man of like my dreams per se that I would want to be with, that I would want to raise my kids with me. So I would never have that because I know that a man that I dream to have would not want a woman that is doing that. So like that's kind of a little take on that. And there's nothing, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But you can't have them both. It's just one of those things, you can't have it both ways. Like you pick and choose. If you'd rather have OnlyFans and make all this money on OnlyFans, which girls do, there's girls that make so much money to do it. So if you want to do that and have that, you can have that and do it. But just know it's going to be a lot harder, and you probably aren't going to be able to have this as well.
So I had a question for you earlier, and I totally forgot about it till right now. You said you mentioned as OnlyFans. You mentioned OnlyFans as a career path. You said career path, and you talked about a man taking away your career path. I'm asking if you had gotten on the cover of Vogue, if you had gotten on the cover of FHM, if you had gotten on something else that where you could make a salary over $200,000, $500,000 a year, and you didn't have to have OnlyFans, would you still do OnlyFans?
Yeah, I mean, I was already making a decent salary just off TikTok sponsorships, but OnlyFans is an insane amount of money.
So you would still do OnlyFans because of the money. What I'm saying is that like you got Giselle Munchin type money, you'd still want to do OnlyFans?
Not necessarily. Like, I don't think I could be bought. Like, for instance, like if someone offered me like $100 million for my virginity, I wouldn't do it.
Right. No,
so money isn't the incentive.
Yeah, I would probably do it for 100 mil. I'm not gonna lie.
Wait, can I ask the guys a question? Like,
you choose a different
I mean, I know
occupation if
you
they
guys.
offered more money
You
than
got
OnlyFans.
I don't think that's what he's saying.
No. What I'm saying is that you called it a career path. Does that make sense? Like being in construction is a career path. Laying
It's part
bricks
of my
is not a
overall
career
career
path.
of like content creation.
Right. Well, the overall, but we're not worried about the TikTok part, right? The guy you're going to marry is not super worried about the TikTok part. It's this one part that they're going to have a little bit more concern about. Do you understand how? My only question is, I consider media maybe a career path, but OnlyFans is not necessarily a career path. Does that make sense? That's what I was confused when you were saying before. A man would want to take me away from my career path, and I think you're calling it a career path because it happens to be very lucrative for you. But I don't think it's a career path. I think and maybe I'm wrong, but what I felt like is if you were more respected as a traditional model,
Mike, a little
I don't think you
closer to the mic.
Sorry, if you were more respected as a traditional model, you might not want to do OnlyFans. That's the only thing I'm asking.
OnlyFans
Quick
earns
response.
a lot more. I was more so saying that because he was saying if he met a girl who's on OnlyFans, he'd want to transfer her into his mission, his framework.
Sure.
So I was asking, is the transferring because it's specifically OnlyFans or just because that's what she's
So
currently doing?
the
and
three
not
of us
his
are in
mission?
some way or another are performance coaches, and it doesn't really look good for us to be dating girls who are doing things. Like I could see if a girl had like old photos from that were bikini shots or whatever, maybe, but like anything beyond that, if we're doing stuff with dildos, girl shit, I think it's going to be a little bit harder for us to explain as male improvement coaches why our girlfriends are doing that. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why. So from a business standpoint.
The optics, yeah.
Justin, I know you wanted to come in, and then after Justin goes, guys, give me a little space to get through some of the soup chats here, and I'll try to get everyone caught up. Go ahead, Justin.
I think you nailed it. So I don't really have a whole lot more to say.
Okay.
I wouldn't let it stop me, but I would shut it down. And yes, I would want her to be inside my frame, not because it was OnlyFans, because it's a family mission, it's a legacy.
You had something quick? Go
yeah,
ahead.
something quick. I just wanted to say that I think that having an OnlyFans is further perpetuating the hedonism that's destroying the country. I wouldn't want to be a part of that personally.
This is why I use
Quick.
the word philosophy.
Do you have a quick response to her? She said that OnlyFans is the downfall of the West. Is that what you
yeah,
said?
basically.
Yeah,
like,
that-
for lack of
she's
better
affirming
words,
my point.
I said it's perpetuating the hedonism that's destroying the country, and it's really giving people up.
Is that you,
Fucked
Andrew?
up.
Is Andrew here? Andrew just showed up. He's the mystery guest. It wasn't me
There it
after
is.
all. Come on here.
It's really ruining the way that people perceive relationships and shit.
This is why I delineated between preference and philosophy, because usually people who believe that also believe that framework.
One question. You said and we're going to get to the soup chats, so just guys, let me get through all these. You wouldn't sell your virginity for $100 million?
Nope.
Yes, the fuck you would.
Bro,
I
would
wouldn't.
do some.
You sell your pics
I'm not
on
gonna lie.
OnlyFans. Yeah,
Yeah,
you would.
you sell your pictures.
Yeah,
I
because
would
that's
do
still
some-
within my comfort zone. You don't know the
I might
content I do on
be with
OnlyFans.
I might go with a dude for $100 million.
I can make a
I'm
lot
just
more on
saying.
OnlyFans
You
if I do
basically
different
just
types of
jump to a
content.
Do you know how many?
Conclusion of
You know,
her?
I could you could
Yes,
cure
it is.
malaria in
Basically just
Africa for
judge-
$100 million.
Judge
Bro.
a book by its cover.
That's
When
what
you
you
literally
normalize
just said
sex,
you don't
you
do
normalize
that.
sex. That's
Yeah,
how it is.
based
Early on in
what
this
you've been
podcast, you
saying,
literally
I
just said you don't
doubt
do that.
you
Get every
wouldn't
dog
just
fixed
do
in the
that.
United
Ladies,
States.
I'm saying
ladies.
what I
One
do
at
on
a time,
OnlyFans.
one at a
No,
time,
no.
please.
I'm saying what I do within my OnlyFans is within my comfort level. I didn't know how much I was going to make on day one. I had to take that risk. I can make $1. I can make $1 million this month, right? So it's within my comfort zone. So I could 10x my profit if
You
I
know why
went
she
beyond
wouldn't?
my
You know why
comfort
she
zone on
wouldn't do that?
OnlyFans, but I
Because
don't.
the guy who would pay $100 million for for your virginity is
ugly.
not the guy you want to be. In
He's
the
gonna be
first
weird
place.
as shit, for sure.
Wait.
For sure. Hey.
Okay,
Yeah.
hold on.
Shout out to Riyadh.
Okay.
Sorry.
The
Two
West
two
has
questions
fallen.
for you guys. So both of you do OnlyFans.